Welcome to this week's edition of the Poachers Pickleball podcast. Spencer, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Long weekend. Had a lot going on. Had some family in town. Lots of sports, but it's good.
It's good. Nice little
Holidays over, so
three
back to
day
regular life.
3 day weekend is over. But the nice thing is it's a short week, so that's good.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
okay, well this week we got some fun things to cover. I don't think it'll be too long. We got some terrible rollout court issues we're going to talk about at the PPA in Vegas. We have Lobgate, we have Phonegate, we have some paddle abuse, we potentially have some cheating question mark at on the APP tour. We have MLP partner drama. We have an unbelievable 45 and 0 streak that comes to an end. We got a lot to cover, but I think it's nothing. I don't know. It won't. We'll just touch on everything real quick and let you guys go for the day. So first thing is there's some news, and again for those that don't know, there's kind of two competing tours. One is the PPA, Professional Pickleball or Pickleball Players Association. I don't know what it is, and then the APP was the Association of Pickleball Players. Right? Is that what it is? Uh,
Yeah, I
Tell
I
us
think
about their
so.
new announcement.
Yeah, so you actually saw this first and sent me like the tweet sometime last week, but first global professional pickleball tour launches. So I guess yeah, the Association of Pickleball Players, the APP, and then like all of the kind of national bodies of pickleball. Looks like Canada, Europe, India, Australia, England, and Vietnam. They are forming a new global alliance that will basically just, I don't know, give. They say it'll give players more opportunities, and that there's going to be like a year-round calendar that has a lot of like world events. So, like for example, the first one that they have listed on here, beginning in December, will be the NPL Invitational in Australia. And then there's going to be another one in Australia. So there's just a lot. To me, it just looks like there's a lot more opportunities outside the United States for pickleball players.
Yeah, and so again the to me the APP is the smaller of the tours, obviously. Um, they have some good players that, in my mind, probably want to come to the PPA tour. There's more money there. But what's cool about this is maybe for those people that have been waiting for pickleball to be in the Olympics, that's one of the issues is that there has to be international bodies throughout the world that support it and have same rules and all that fun stuff. So that's potentially a good thing. Anything that goes to sports always going to be good. So and I will say this: the PPA again. I think obviously the bigger tour. They already do have a PPA Asia. In fact, shout out to some of our Utah people. Connor Garnett, he actually did a trip. He went with Tyler Loong and Elise Jones. I'm not sure who else came from Utah, but the three of those people live in Utah. Connor Garnett actually won a triple crown, which means he won the singles gold, the gender doubles gold, which means the men's gold, and then the mixed gold. So congrats to him. I guess he's looking for a house here in Utah and lives here currently. So, um, and he's also a member of the Utah Black Diamonds. So, kind of cool that they went out there and won that. I think that people maybe are not surprised that in the singles tournament, I don't know who he played, but he was up 6-0 and the other guy came back and like scored 10 and ended up winning the first game of the match. And then Connor had to win two in a row to get the gold. So don't be surprised when a whole bunch of people from Asia come over and start conquering pickleball. So they're pretty good at paddle sports, as you may know. So.
Yeah, my question is too, I guess, with that, because I didn't really know anything about the APP until kind of reading a little bit more about this. I'd heard of it, but never watched any of the events. There's even some kind of locally coming up in the next year for us, like Vegas and Arizona. But like, are you allowed to just kind of play in whatever tour you want?
Sort of. So
PPA,
you can
APP, and just whatever?
on the PPA tour, you have to have like a contract. A company, I think they're called the UAP, that owns both the MLP and the PPA. And you have to be contracted to play there and avoid qualifying. So if you and I are good enough, we could in theory sign up and qualify and beat, kind of work our way into the round of 64 and then just get
Okay.
murdered by a good team. So if you're good enough, you can kind of qualify and work your way in. Same thing on the APP tour. But if there's some weird rules, like let's say you're ranked, I think if you're ranked in the top 50 with the APP, but not signed by the PPA, sorry. if you're ranked the top 50 in the PPA, you can't play qualifiers. So you're kind of like stuck. I think that happened to was it Alex Crum or oh shoot, some other guy for the singles. I can't remember, but like somebody who played a lot on the APP came over and did so well that he kind of hurt himself, and then I think he ended up signing with the PPA anyway. So, but it is a bit convoluted. They do have a lot of contract issues, but I think if you're just kind of a normal Joe and are good enough, you can go qualified either one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's interesting. So could we also, I mean, I don't know how this works, but could we like go try to qualify for some random Canadian National League one too, or do you got to be Canadian for that?
I don't know. That's one I don't know. Um, yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah,
I
I just kind of curious if it's like soccer where like you can be from, Portugal but play in
Maybe, yeah, maybe if you're
Spain
good
or whatever.
enough, if you're good enough to be on the Canadian tour, then maybe you go for it. I really don't know. You'll have to
Nice.
just get really good and find out for us and report back.
I'll do some APP research for the next show.
Okay, very good. All right, tell us a little bit about some news with Christian Alshon.
Yeah, Christian Alshon announced that he is parting ways with Lee Waters, which is Anna Lee Waters' mother, of course, former coach. Yeah, that was the whole
Yeah,
what double bird middle finger thing that we
yeah,
talked
but San
about at
Diego a
MLP a
little while
couple
ago.
weeks ago.
So, so here's the background. This is maybe helpful. Christian Alshon was really highly ranked in tennis. He played for I think University of Chicago or something. And then he somehow came across Lee Waters and in Florida or whatever, and he started trying to play pickleball or whatever. And he basically he's Lee Waters said, You're really good. You could be really good at pickleball. You should devote your time." And he's like, "Okay, if you coach me." And again, Lee Waters is the mother of Anna Lee Waters, who is the greatest female player ever to play. Um, and that's fine. He coached her for a couple of years. The problem is if Christian is ever playing against Anna Lee Waters, then he gets no coaching from his coach. She has to
Conflict
be,
of interest.
yeah, she has to be loyal to her daughter, which we obviously understand. So, somebody who basically convinced him to start playing pickleball, it just got to be, you know, too big of a problem to have the conflict of interest. And they just ended up, I mean, Christian Alshon's so good that he does end up playing against Anna Lee in mixed doubles quite a bit. So it just didn't look, it's just a rough situation. And I'm not remotely surprised, especially after the double bird a few weeks ago, and his frustration. Christian is not one to keep his feelings hidden, as we'll see later on in the show. So anyway, that was a big deal. We don't know who he's. I think the rumor is he's gonna have Wang Yun's dad, who's the guy that got kicked out of the PPA. Wang Yun,
Oh,
the guy from Vietnam. Anyway, who knows? I don't know if that's true or not. So we'll have to find out about that. All right, so let's chat about the actual tournament, the PPA in Vegas. It was at the Vegas Convention Center on rollout courts. Spencer, you got to
oh
watch
yeah.
some of this. What was your view of the courts, the lighting?
Well, yeah. Look, I love Vegas and Vegas hosts everything, right? And being like 2 hours from Vegas is awesome. Being like a sports fan, because you can just pretty much go see anything at any time of year, whether that's like March Madness or the NFL or hockey or whatever's rolling through town, right?
Yep.
And I think I don't know. I didn't get to go to this one, unfortunately, but I did watch some and I saw some clips and it did not look good on television. I thought the lighting was horrendous. Um, I've been to the Las Vegas Convention Center, not for like sporting event, but it
Yeah.
seems fine to me. But I could definitely see where like it just doesn't work
Yeah, the,
for
the, the
sports.
lighting's not built for pickleball, right? I
No,
mean,
no, no. It's not
um,
professional sporting light, right?
yeah.
The convention center mostly just holds like business conferences and travel expos and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I thought their lighting was bad. Uh, I definitely thought that the courts were really bad.
Yeah, so there's
Just
a the issue was, and I put out a tweet on our this is a shout out to go follow Poachers Pod on Twitter, but I put out a tweet that just showed this is just on the screen on the TV on one of the side courts. There was just a noticeable bump in the back of the corner of the thing. Like if you hit the back corner, there's no way someone's returning it, and there's videos all over of the ball just dying in spots. I think it was worse on the side courts for sure, but The lighting, I think, looked worse for the center court and grandstand because it was a black rollout court, and I think that just absorbed the light, whereas the blue courts didn't look as bad lighting wise. But it is what it is. You play where you play, right? Like if you're playing on grass, you're playing on turf, you make the adjustments. I think everyone's getting adjusted to the new ball. But it was, there's definitely a lot of issues, and that's one of the reasons a lot of the top players, sorry, it's one of the reasons that some of the top players pull out of singles on rollout courts is it's grippier. Like it's the surface actually grips your shoe better, so it's harder to slide, which you do a lot more in singles. And so you're more prone to like rolling an ankle, and and the ball doesn't bounce as high either. So there's just a lot of differences between rollout. Now, allegedly, the PPA is going to get rid of the rollout courts, is the word on the street. So you might see that disappear. Although I don't know, I don't want to be outdoors in Vegas in August, that's for sure, August
Oh,
or September. So
nope.
um, October, we'll see. I'll report back on that when we go see him in October. But
Yeah,
anyway,
and that's my thing too. Like, okay, yeah, you get rid of rollout courts, which the idea sounds good, but then like how many really, I don't know, stadiums and stuff do we have that are specifically equipped for pickleball?
none.
Not
There are
very
no
many.
stadiums, that's for
Pickleball
sure.
is a very, very new sport, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So we went to the PPA down here in St. George. It's
yeah.
March and it's on like a pickleball court, so we're
Right.
good there. But
Outdoor
like
court.
if you
Yep.
tried to do that in July or August, it's not happening. Like no
No,
one's
no.
showing up, no one's wanting to play. It's
Pickle,
110.
the pickleball would just melt on the ground.
Yeah, like nobody wants to do that. So it makes me interested to see like if you can, I don't know, maybe as pickleball grows too, you could always see specific places built just for like pickleball tournaments that are indoors
Yeah,
so you
and
can
I exactly.
host
And I
these.
I think I mean I wonder if the rollout courts are just going to get better technology, right? Like obviously turf has gotten
Yeah.
better over time. That could happen. The St. Louis Shock when they hosted the MLP, they were on rollout courts, but it was in a and well, it was in the where St. Louis basketball team, University of St. Louis plays. So they were still rollout courts, but it was a stadium feel. So that's I think where we want to get to. You certainly can hold it indoor. That's where the Dallas Flash hosted at an indoor facility. It's a lot easier for MLP because you only need two courts. But for a PPA tournament, you need hundreds of courts, not hundreds, 50 courts or so, which is what they have in St. George on the outdoor facility. The other thing you have is issue is weather on as far as rain. So obviously in the winter,
Yeah.
in the summer, you play up in the northern areas of the states on tour, and then you leave Vegas for the winter, Arizona for the winter.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, enough of that. We'll see what happens. Rumor is that the rollout courts are going away. We'll see. All right, now the biggest story of the weekend was not the championship for the women's doubles, but the semifinals, which had Georgia Johnson and Tyra Black. Um, for fans of the pod, they'll remember that that is the Dallas Flash women's team. They are the team that unfortunately chose the Columbus Sliders and lost, but that meant that they had basically 2 weeks off, or a week off, I guess. And people like Anna Lee did not. So Anna Lee and Anna Bright, who she was also playing in New York, uh, again they were 45-0. That's uh, an insane record, obviously. Now they're 45-1. So it was a semifinals. Georgia Johnson, Tyra Black. They ended up losing, so they lost their very first game, and they had to win two in a row to go to the finals. And they pulled it off. It was I think Tyra Black was a little bit more offensive. Um, it was a great. If you get a chance, go watch that match. It's fantastic. Every single point just fought. It's just hard fought and great game. Then of course they have to go to the finals on Sunday and finish the job. Right? Nothing's worse than getting this huge upset and then losing the championship. But luckily they pulled that off in four. So the Giants have been beaten.